For as faithful as Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender was to the source material, there were a handful of changes that stood out to fans of the original.
You have me, Tara, and a flying ball of fur. What more do you need?
Welcome to the Rewind. These are the most significant changes in Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender. Before we begin, make sure to give this video a like and hit that subscribe button for good luck. Aang's backstory.
A strange glowy iceberg just exploded and left behind a mysterious little bald person.
It's a small change, but it definitely made a big impact. The biggest change to Aang's backstory is that he doesn't run away due to the stress and pressure learning he is the Avatar puts him under. Instead of showing how Aang struggled to have a normal childhood after this revelation, he talks about his feelings with his sky bison Appa before going for a flight to clear his head. This makes Aang's subsequent disappearance for 100 years more accidental.
But you weren't.
Past avatars. Unlike the original, the inclusion of these past avatars brought with it too many new rules behind the function of these predecessors. Netflix decided to include two avatars from before Roku, Kyoshi and Kuruk, who previously didn't factor into the show until its later seasons, but their implementation is questionable. First, Aang can only speak to them when at their temples, which contrasts with Roku offering Aang wisdom several times even when away from his temple. The previous avatars also speak to Aang in more hostile tones, especially Kyoshi, who almost feels like she's trying to bully Aang into doing what she says.
Being the Avatar means putting your duties above all else, even your life.
Azula's early inclusion.
Azula, stop playing games.
I'm not the one playing games.
This is your last chance. Fight or fail.
A remarkable villain with very little reason for screen time. Unfortunately, the writers couldn't think of anything interesting for Azula to do, so her scenes feel like they only exist to remind the audience that she exists. Once in a while, they add a line about her obsession with being perfect, but for the most part, she's either directing Admiral Zhao or fighting Earth Kingdom prisoners on Ozai's orders. The show also removed her iconic blue flames. In hindsight, it probably would have just been better to leave her for the finale and use her screen time to develop some of the other storylines. Zuko's crew.
That is why we sacrificed the 41st Division. That is what you must do.
From complete nobodies to integral parts of Zuko's arc, this small detail might be the best change in the entire show. Making Zuko's team a reflection of his selfless acts gives Zuko even more of a connection to his crew, also giving more cadence to their decision to remain loyal to him instead of Zhao. This change alone helps to make Ozai even more of an uncaring monster, as the reason why he gave Zuko his crew was to remove perceived weakness from his army.
We're the 41st.
And you're all alive because of my nephew's sacrifice.
Busy Omashu.
That's no mountain. That's Omashu. Papa, yip yip.
Some of the cracks start to show when you combine multiple storylines into one. Over 2 episodes set in Omashu, Team Avatar encounter a mechanist secretly working for the Fire Nation, a freedom fighter named Jet, the King of Omashu, and Bumi, as well as make their way through the Cave of Two Lovers. This results in the team getting separated to deal with these plot points, leaving them with little to no time to develop as a trio. Since each storyline is also competing with one another for attention, none of them end up as fully realized as in the animated version. Jet is by far the worst case, as there's just not enough time to go into why he became such an extremist.
You may be 100 years old, but you haven't lived for 100 years.
Capture in the spirit world.
So, what do we do?
We watch over Aang. Once his spirit crosses over, his body will be vulnerable.
didn't Aang have a job to do? The biggest change made to the spirit world is that the ancient spirit Ko the Face Stealer captures Katara and Sokka and won't free them until Aang returns his totem, stolen by Roku. It's used to lead to Aang's capture and rescue by the Blue Spirit in the following episode, which is a double-edged sword. It does eliminate Sokka and Katara's obligatory illness from the original show, but it also removes the ambiguous nature of spirits. The worst part is that due to Ko becoming the main focus of the spirit world, Aang is never able to calm the rampaging forest spirit.
Hey, Skunky, why'd you pick on someone your own size? I didn't mean me.
Boomy.
This isn't who you are. The Boomy I know is a fun-loving, happy kid who loves to skip rocks and always thinks about his friends.
Okay, I think we can all agree that Boomy didn't really feel like Aang's childhood friend in this adaptation. Netflix's version of Boomy retains his eccentricities, but the rest of his personality is all wrong. He's much more cynical and disheartened when he sees Aang again, openly blaming him for the state of the world and believing that there's no hope left in fighting. Honestly, it's a rather disappointing way to handle such a fan-favorite character, especially since there was potential in Ambudkar's portrayal.
Time for the games to end.
Katara's waterbending. So you're saying that one scroll taught her all that? Unfortunately, the show decides to make Katara a prodigy character who's able to become a master on her own in the span of one season, which honestly makes her feel much less human and relatable than her animated counterpart. Animated Katara was able to pick up new skills quickly, but still required advice and teaching from individuals like Master Pakku, a master from the north who initially refuses to train Katara due to sexism. While she is able to convince him in the animated version, Netflix has Pakku declare that Katara is already a master, even though she only began practicing advanced waterbending upon leaving the South Pole. Zhao.
Dow!
You're alive.
Here we have what's arguably the most lackluster first season villain. Netflix's adaptation strips Zhao of a lot of his agency and gives the reason for his success to characters like Azula. As such, he doesn't come across as a ruthless and capable commander anymore, but just someone who is undeserving of his position and only got there because of outside help. It also doesn't help that the show cut out his and Zuko's Agni Kai, which offered a demonstration of how capable Zhao was in combat.
Because I was just using you as motivation for your sister.
You're lying! Admit it, you're lying!
And Sokka's sexism.
That was pretty good. Us Southern Water Tribe warriors are known more for our hand-to-hand fighting anyway. Oh, right now?
Who needs character development anyway? Removing Sokka's sexism means that he doesn't gain as much from his time with the Kyoshi warriors, and severely affects his relationship with their leader, Suki. This is a major moment in Sokka's character growth. He learns that not only can women be warriors, but gets a first-hand view of the traditions and methods in which other cultures fight, which in turn helps him grow as a person and as a warrior himself. Taking away his initial dismissal of women warriors means that it's a much less humbling moment when he asks Suki to train him. That's gonna be it, folks. What did you think of our list? Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a like and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Check out these other videos from The Rewind, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of our future uploads.